Alright, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy, Drew, and I'm back. Good afternoon. I'm here to be political and black, crack an egg or two, crack some problems with Facebook. So let's talk about Facebook. And why it's essential, but why it sucks that it's essential. Or, well, it's essential if you're trying to keep up with people and trying to keep in touch with people, which is a huge thing in my life. I've got a few people I want to keep in touch with at all times or want to know what's going on with at all times. So Facebook helped with that. Now, outside of that, Facebook is just a service. But on the other end of that, it's a service we do use to talk to many of our friends, family, people we would normally otherwise never talk to. Now, the problem with that comes in. I can argue with a leftist and type FAT99OT. That spells faggot, for those of you who do not know AOL speak. Now, Facebook bots have just learned AOL speak. I was using this for like 2 years, the last 2 years, because on Facebook, if you typed anything that Facebook ass at money, like that's, if you literally typed that, it couldn't detect it because it was just symbols. Now they're training up those bots to detect those symbols. What I'm actually moving to do is I'm going to file my third FTC complaint against Facebook. I'm going to email the Federal Trade Commission and let them know, hey, look, I got a ban for saying this. Now, I want to say this just clear and flat. I have been called the N-word multiple times on Facebook on this new account and my old account. Whenever I report those people because they are fully left-leaning supporters of Facebook, they do not get reported and reviewed. I even request reviews on every report that I file. For instance, just yesterday I reported someone with her nipple hanging out of her shirt. Because apparently now that's a part of Facebook's policy that's okay. It said it didn't go against the community guidelines. I went and looked at it. It states that breastfeeding is okay. The photos of breastfeeding will not be taken down, not just of your nipples. So be careful with that, ladies, as well. Like, you will eventually, if you're against Facebook, if you have any sort of nipple showing, it will trigger that censor when it's convenient. So I get called the N-word all the time. I get called nigger all the time. We're just gonna start using it because fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna make everybody feel as uncomfortable as they make me feel. I'm an uneducated nigger from a poor background who has no idea what the fuck they're talking about. Now, that is an actual statement that's been typed at me multiple times by left-leaning individuals, only left-leaning individuals, no right-leaning individual. Right-leaning individuals have their own ugliness at times. Like, it all hinges around IQ, but once you break that mold, like, once you're like, yeah, but haven't you known a dumb fucking Indian or a dumb Mexican or a smart Mexican who's just super chill, and then they go, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, with leftists, it's all one story. I'm an undereducated black man. Now granted, didn't go seek higher education after high school, but I'm also not an idiot, so I don't feel that I needed that experience. If I was going to go to any sort of school, I would have gone to a trade school again, because I'm not an idiot. I know what kind of jobs the world needs. Sorry to people with gender studies degrees, the world doesn't need you and we don't. We're actually working really hard to replace you guys in classrooms and boardrooms and meeting rooms and any sort of room that involves actual thought. We're trying to get you out of there if you haven't noticed. But no, so the Facebook issue, with Facebook, they will block you for things they won't block other people for, especially if you remove your liberal centrist ads. If you remove those from your Facebook, you're targeting yourself as a right-winger, and they will immediately target you. Now, again, this is going to be my third complaint to the FTC about how, well, I'm using, like, coded things that a bot can't detect unless it's being live trained to detect that. But their bots aren't using AI. That's a known thing. We've had it under observation for years with Facebook, and they don't use an AI to do their reviews and their requests. They don't even use an actual, like, team. It's just a few people with a machine that's constantly being updated with algorithms and words. So now they have to update these algorithms to include AOL speak, which is hilarious because, like, for a year or two, it wasn't registering AOL speak. That means they've spent the last 2 years adding AOL Speak into the dictionary for this robot, so it can actually understand us. So if I type @money money, it knows that that's ass, which I think is hilarious. But it's, again, just a centralized machine system, not an AI machine system where it's moving and it's learning on its own and it doesn't need us to learn. No. This thing is being programmed, and that's part of where it targets so hard. Is until we know what it's programmed to target, we will never know. Like, that is the unfortunate, like, they can tell us that it's programmed to seek out the most offensive users. If I'm the most offensive user, I've been doing things wrong, because I should be running a page if I'm the most offensive user, because people buy the offense and they think it's hilarious. But the thing is that Facebook caves to the LGBTQ with alphabet people so hard that you can't do anything with that. You can only take it up with the FTC. Now I'm on a 3-day Facebook ban. Watch this shit get dropped to a 1-day Facebook ban as soon as I get into the FTC with them again. Because they don't have, let me put it like this. This video is going to be titled Community Standards and Practices of Facebook. Now, we're also going to talk about how nothing they ban people for is in their community standards and practice. They banned Alex Jones, and he never cussed. He never used nudity. He never used children. He also never used naked children. And on top of that, he never showed off breastfeeding mothers. He never showed off nipples that were just in photos. So again, what is it exactly? Also, shouldn't Facebook be losing its ability to be on the Apple Store for allowing breastfeeding? I'm going to tag Apple in this and see what happens with that too. I might even call Apple and ask, so why is it that on Facebook you can have children? I'm going to do everything I can to get Facebook removed, because Facebook's policies actually are becoming less and less family friendly and more or less shifted towards the LGBTQ, who we know isn't about family units, who we know is about one-night stands, who we know is about banging children. I mean, this has come forth lately, and that's fucked up. I'm just saying, that's fucked up. Half of the reason I can't stand by the LGBTQ alphabet people, half of you guys are pedophiles. The other half are rapists. What am I supposed to stand by and get behind? Okay, then maybe that's a bit much. 75% of you have some sort of sexual deviance problem. What am I supposed to get behind with that? The other 25% that are cool. Like, I mean, like, the foster parents for my daughter are the best. Like, they are great. Katie and Brandy. I wouldn't change them for the world. They also aren't with a devious intention to convert girls to boys or trying to touch little girls or boys. You see, that's the problem, is that that's not the case for a lot of gay people. A lot of gay people have a pedophile problem, and they want to use it, like, to their advantage. They want to be able to touch your kids, and that's a problem in the world. But back on to Facebook and the community guidelines, yeah, you can post a picture of a kid in drag, and it doesn't go against the community guidelines. Despite the fact the community guidelines are supposed to be for a, sorry, I'm about to do a dab, y'all. Despite the fact the community guidelines are supposed to be for everyone, like, it's a community guideline. It's enforceable by you as well, like, you report things. It's a community guideline. That's why their system is a robot and it's automated and they don't take calls. Like, that's what causes that. Sorry, this rig's got to get real hot. But outside of that, Facebook community standards don't actually hit within their community standards. For instance, their nudity clause contains that there shall be no child nudity, no pornography including children. And then they changed that policy to actually benefit the LGBTQ who want to show off children. Community guidelines, they're not for everyone, bro. But again, I'm going to move forward with that third FTC complaint. I filed an old one for an account that I had closed down. And the reason being that I closed that account down was due to liberal spam and hate. Facebook will go out of its way to put your posts in front of liberals if you're right-leaning at all. Wooey. And that's what Facebook did to me. It knows I'm right-leaning, so it puts me in the way of liberals more. When you look at public posts, those are determined by your political ideology and what Facebook needs you to stand up for. Like an example of how their bot does this, because it's one Facebook bot, and it's not an intelligent bot. This is the problem with it, is it's not an AI bot. So, the problem with FaceBot is that it's just taught to discriminate. And without AI, FaceBot, unfortunately, will never get to a point where it does stop its discrimination, because, unfortunately, Zuckerberg is not a genius, but it is, in fact, quite an idiot, would rather spy on fellow Americans. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Short of taking a class for coding, any of you could have done what Zuckerberg did. You all could have. Any of you could have been creepy enough and obsessed with a woman enough that you needed to stalk her, so you created a social network to do that, and then make a movie about how that's not what happened at all. Trust me, the dude who created Facebook is a fucking creep. He wanted to know everything about the girl that he wanted to get with, so he made a social network where people share information and meet users. The movie only really tells you half the story. The movie doesn't tell you why his friend was in court with him. The movie doesn't tell you... They only go over as far as the IP is concerned. They don't go over the emotional damages, the life damages, how Mark Zuckerberg ruined that kid's life. Like, they don't go over any of that in the movie. None of it. But, aside from that cool little gloss over with Mark Zuckerberg... Facebook's not what it used to be either. It's not the kind of environment you can just add someone that you'd like to talk to and talk to them. It's more or less for people you already know that you talk to. In 2019, Facebook's ultimate purpose has changed. YouTube, Twitter, all of their purposes have changed. As of 2019, as of this date, December 2nd, 2019, I can tell you with utter and sheer confidence that just due to the political landscape of the United States and people not being happy with what they've been handed by politicians, this is the result, is that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram now target men harder, Republicans harder, and women who don't agree with their message harder. This was our consequence for being free thinkers. Do not let the system shut us down. YouTube is making some hella guideline changes. I gotta do a little bit more studying on that, but I'll probably pop back in with a video on that. Just remember, those community guidelines really aren't being used properly. They're not being enforced. They're not being even... There's no enforcement because there's no people. Facebook sucks because there's no people. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is if you had a person who was doing this, I could at least call the person and be like, yo, my dog. So instead of typing faggot, F-A-G-G-O-T, I typed F-A-F-at-990-T, and I'm like, for all that dude knows, that says F-at-990-T, F-at-990-0, F-at-990-T, there we go, 990-T. That's gibberish. Actually, that's it might be a color code. But beyond that, it's absolute gibberish. I mean, really, realistically, it's just beyond that absolute gibberish. And then, they got me for neckbeard fag once because the guy was calling me the N-word for not liking Jared Polis. Go fucking figure that a black man doesn't like our governor who's only making conditions worse for black men because he's a liberal and believes in slavery. Dun dun! This guy. I hate Polis. But he isn't against Facebook's use of its policies. Like, he's not spoken a lot on it, but just the little quippets you hear. It lets you know that Polis is actually very much about Facebook's control and abuse of its users. So, other than that, y'all, catch you later. Facebook community guidelines really don't work for anything. We actually need people, unfortunately, at Facebook if it's ever going to be run fairly for every side, every party. If you want to have a fair chance to stand on Facebook as much as I want to have a fair chance to stand on Facebook. Now, I understand. In a long way about it, I did break their policy. I did. It's just what it is. I broke their policy in a long way around. But, on the short end, I can't retaliate when I'm called the N-word, so kind of a hard spot to be in. It doesn't matter if they N199 at me, that spells nigga. It doesn't matter if they N1993 are me, that spells nigger. It does not matter. As a black man, to me it matters. So, I mean, here's a question I would ask. There was a black politician who asked, how does Facebook abuse its black users? No different than the white users, lady. But let me put it like this. As a black person, when I get called the N-word, why can I not retaliate without my account immediately getting banned? But other than that, you guys have a good day. Catch you on the flip and take it easy. Question of the day. Shit, have you had problems with the Facebook community guidelines? And if so, would you like a video explaining what to do about it? Let me know in the comments, y'all.